wrong, I talk against it, wherever. That's my nature. So I was sent off to Delhi. I wrote a famous note against the famous palm oil scandal in Kerala, where 8 IAS officers were accused, along with the chief minister, of importing palm oil which was necessary at a very high price. So they're all being criminally prosecuted now. I'm the only person who is not a criminal because I said this is wrong. But when I wrote that, they didn't like that. So they sent me off to Delhi. I was exiled. And I was very sad because my children were very small. I didn't want to go to Delhi. Anyway, I went. I said, let's see what happens. So when I reached Delhi, I was commissioner. I was posted as commissioner, Delhi Development Authority. Anybody from Delhi here? Oh, wow. That's nice. All sit together, 3 or 4 of them. Good. I used to live in Asiad village, Khelgaon. Okay? So I didn't know much of Hindi. It's a problem with the language. So after being in Delhi for 2 weeks, one day I didn't go to the office. So they called my wife and asked what happened to the commissioner. I only had a headache. My wife also didn't know much of a Hindi. My wife said, "Sabka dimag kharab ho gaya." So they said, Kal to theek tha. My wife said, yesterday he didn't take a tablet. Which made things worse. So they think that this guy is on a tablet and if he doesn't take a tablet, he goes crazy. So from the office they said, no, there is a mental hospital in Nagra. There is one in Rajasthan. No, my wife said, no, he will take a tablet and he is sleeping and he will be okay. Then there were phone calls, one after the other, saying that, this is a better mental hospital, you should better take him there. Finally, there was a call from the Lieutenant Governor saying that I will send a police escort. Please take your husband. My wife said, no, he'll be okay. He's now sleeping. As of now, he's peaceful. Yeah. So next day when I went to the office, everybody was running away. Yeah. So, yeah, but a lot of people think I'm pretty crazy. So this is a problem with the language. If you don't know the language properly. But even now, my Hindi is very bad. My wife speaks very good Hindi. She even talks to the dogs and cats in Hindi. Yeah, my Hindi is very bad even now. So unless you know the language well, you have a problem, isn't it? Anyway, so I'll speak slowly. I'm not going to speak actually. I'm going to ask most of you to speak, okay? Yeah, I never generally speak from the stage. Only problem is, if I generally come down and speak from the audience. But the problem is, here is this video man and he will curse me if I go down because he won't be able to shoot me at all. That's what happens in most of the places because they end up getting no shots of me because I go down to the audience and that's where I speak from most of the time. I hate speaking from the stage. All right, so let me tell you a little story about myself. When I was doing the IAS examination, I am from the no notebooks. You don't need any notebooks, nothing. Just close them. Just look at me. Because otherwise you will keep writing, you will forget. Because whatever I'm going to tell you, you're going to register in your hard disk, okay? Not in your notebooks. Whatever is written in your notebooks, you will forget. Whatever is registered in your heart, you will remember, as or not. Mr. Purohit heard me 14 years back and he's brought his family because he wants to listen to me because it's registered in his heart. Yes or no, Mr. Purohit? Yeah. So listen very carefully, keep your books away, everything away, and your pens away, everything. When I was writing the IAS exams, you know how many people write the IAS exams? 3,000? Oh, you missing many. How many people write the IAS examinations? Anybody? Yeah. 5 to 7 lakhs. You're more or less right. 5 to 6 lakhs. Anybody else? He's more or less correct. It's about 9 lakh students who write the examinations this year. 9 lakhs. Let's say about 10 lakhs. They write the civil service examination. It's called the civil service examination. It's an examination not only for the IAS, it's for IPS, income tax, customs. So based on about 25 services, people are selected based on this examination, based on the ranking. Okay? So when I wrote the examination in 1978, I just wrote one sentence in my diary. You know what was that sentence? I said, I am going to be the topper. How's that? That's very arrogant, no? Very presumptuous, isn't it? No? To say when about 10 lakh people write the examination, you write, I am going to be the topper. That's incredibly arrogant. Yes or no? No? You don't think so? Then what is it? It's confidence? Self-belief? You think so? How many of you would have the courage to do that? Just raise your hands. Wow, that's got to be a number. Not bad at all. I see about 10 hands raised. Fantastic. Give them a hand. Come on, give them a hand. Now listen, don't applaud like dead fish. When you clap your hands, clap with your heart and soul. Yes or no? Yes. Simple thing is, whenever you do something, do it with your heart and soul. Yes or no? Don't clap your hands just because somebody else tells you to do it. You do it when you feel like. All right? Whenever you feel like clapping your hands, you clap. Whenever you feel like laughing, you laugh. Whenever you feel like smiling, you smile. Because you are taught by your parents and by your teachers, you clap your hands only when we tell you. You smile only when we tell you. You laugh only when we tell you. You cry only when we have permission. But you children, you do whatever you want. It's your life. Is it agreed? Yes. Very good. Then I have only 9 months to study for the examination. I was in Delhi. I'm an economist. I studied economics all my life. I had to take 3 optional subjects. Today you have to take only 1 optional subject. See, it's so easy. You have to study only 1 optional subject today, plus general knowledge. I had to take 3 optional subjects. Those days I took history, sociology, philosophy, subjects which I never studied before. I have only 9 months. And I was stupid enough to write in my diary, I'm going to be the topper. Very stupid. I studied. When the results came, the first miracle happened. I topped. Thank you. I topped in all the 3 subjects I wrote. Thank you. But in the interview, I spoke all against the government because I was so sure I was getting into IAS anyway. Even if I got a 0 in the interview, I would still get into the IAS. So I spoke all against the government policies. I got only 50% in the interview. So from first position, I came down to the 8th position. So finally, when the results came, I was only 8th. That's good enough, no? Not bad, isn't it? Yeah, but I topped the written examination, which is what I wrote in my diary. I am going to be the topper. Not a bad idea, isn't it? Well, I was a pretty long-haired hippie. You stand up, let me see your hair. Yeah, I had almost little less hair than her. So I landed up in Mussoorie Academy. You know where is Mussoorie? You go to Dehradun, you climb 33 kilometers. It's up in the forest, in the mountains. It's the Mussoorie Academy. That's where the IAS Academy is. I reached about 10 days late in the Mussoorie Academy. I had long hair like her, almost as much as her. And I was wearing a cowboy boots and a nice, cowboy jacket and all that. I reached there in the coffee time, and there was 100 IAS officers, all nicely cropped, perfect black suit, black tie, black shoes, black socks. I landed up in the middle of these people, and they thought that some wild animal had strayed from the forest, Yeah, I was so embarrassed. I said, okay, let me be one of them. So I searched for a barber shop. We don't say like you, a saloon. No, barber shop. So I went to the library point. I found the first barber shop. It's like one of those small little boxes. I got in there. He says, you are a Madrasi. All of us South Indians are called Madrasis by you North Indians, isn't it? We don't care. We have the brains anyway, don't you worry. Yeah. So he says, you look like a Madrasi, and all Madrasis come here to the academy to be IAS officers, but you don't look anything like an IAS officer. I said, okay, can you make me an IAS officer? He said, okay. He went for the largest scissors. Crack, 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 crack. He chopped. Finally, he said, you look like an IAS officer. I said, how much is your charges? He said, no, it's free. I have made a highly uncivilized, uncouth looking guy into an IAS officer. Yeah. So now, no charges for me. He became my friend. So every Saturday I used to walk down to the library point, have coffee with him. He became my philosopher, my friend, my mentor. I went back to the Mussoorie Academy. I wore a black suit and a black tie and a black shoes and a black socks. And I decided I want to be different. I said, I want to be an IAS officer with a backbone. I said, I'm here to be an IAS officer for the citizen. I said, I'm not an IAS officer for the politician, for the rich. To be telling people this is a rule why I can't do something. I'm going to be an IAS officer to tell people why we can do things for the country, why you are most important. I decided. I said, I'm going to be somebody with a backbone. Now tell me, how many of you have a backbone? Just raise your hands. How many of you have a